It's almost incredulous to believe that Rob Ford, that human seismic force who created an earthquake in Toronto's oh-so-left-wing political bedrock, has been dead for a year now. Before there was a Brexit, before there was a President Trump, there was Rob Ford, a man who rode a populist wave straight into the mayor's office, winning by a landslide. He was a man beholden to a heartfelt mantra: respect for taxpayers. These three words were far more than an election slogan. Rather, it was a philosophy that drove Rob Ford. Rob loved the common man driving the common van, and he despised the City Hall gravy train. From day one of taking office, Rob worked tirelessly to derail that odious tax and spend leftist locomotive. Indeed, like so many people residing in the Greater Toronto Area, I was drawn to Rob Ford thanks to his weekly radio segments on AM 640 with host John Oakley. Every Thursday morning, Rob would come into the studio with a file folder bulging with documents proving how much taxpayer dough was being needlessly squandered at City Hall. My all-time favorite example was when Rob exposed a $25,000 pilot project that aimed at teaching homeless people how to, wait for it, stilt walk. Yes, stilt walk. Hey, you never know when Cirque du Soleil is going to have a recruiting drive, and most of the homeless people I've encountered harbor a heartfelt desire to master stilt walking. Yikes. My all-time enduring memory of Rob Ford, however, was on Sunday, November 17th, 2013. Rob had just wrapped up taping the inaugural episode of Ford Nation at the Sun News Network studio. Rob loved football, and the Toronto Argonauts were playing the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the Eastern Conference Final that afternoon at Skydome. As soon as the show concluded, Rob made a beeline to his larger-than-life set of wheels, an ebony Cadillac Escalade. Yours truly and the Toronto Sun's Joe Warmington followed Rob, and we were lucky enough to hitch a ride. We broke through the throng of reporters who had gathered outside the Sun News studio, ever hopeful they'd catch the mayor saying something outrageous. Now, love him or hate him, Rob Ford was gold when it came to the dying art of selling newspapers. But Rob had no time for the media party. He looked upon most journalists as biased kooks. And besides, kickoff was looming. Once ensconced in the mayor's supersized SUV, Rob immediately reached for the radio control panel. Before activating it, I wondered what talk radio station he'd choose, which panel of talking heads he'd listen to droning on about the politics of the day. I couldn't have been more wrong. Rob flicked on rock station Q107 and cranked the volume to the max. In the department of cosmic irony, the song that happened to be playing at that very moment was ELO's Don't Bring Me Down. Such a fitting tune given the myriad enemies Rob was dealing with at the time, plus his ongoing battle with substance abuse. But as that classic rock song blared, Rob flashed a 1 million kilowatt smile. He was like a kid on Christmas morning. There'd be time enough for politicking on Monday, but on this day, at this moment, Rob was styling and profiling in his Escalade, donning an Argos jersey and blasting some good old-time rock and roll. And wow, he looked so damn happy to be living the dream. Of course, Rob being Rob, he missed most of the first quarter of the football game. Upon exiting the Escalade at Skydome, he was mobbed by well-wishers who clamored for autographs and selfies. It was as if a rock star had just arrived. And you know something? The mayor said yes to every request, even though the football game that he was desperately longing to watch was already in progress. Although it's true there will never be another Rob Ford, it's also true there will always be an appetite for courageous politicians who embrace the respect for taxpayers mantra of Rob Ford. And this, I should think, will ultimately prove to be Rob's everlasting legacy. Rest in peace, Mayor. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Like what you just saw? Then click subscribe below and never miss another Rebel video.